Hi.
Hi, that's my audience, my sister.
Yeah.
I'd like to do a speech today to persuade. It is called "Love Shouldn't Cost Someone Their Mental Health." So, this subject resonates really deeply with me. I came out when I was 16 years old to my mom and was basically told that I was really bad, wrong. My mom was very religious, and it put a lot of negative thoughts in my head about myself. I felt like I couldn't be good enough, that I wasn't a good person anymore, that I couldn't be like loved by God or any spiritual or religious thing. And I remember coming out to my mom and being forced to like listen to anti-gay sermons and just crying almost every day after school because I just felt so rejected. But there was an adult that in my young teenage years, around 16, it was kind of a stranger, a friend of a friend, like a parent of one of my friends, who just told me, you're not bad, there's nothing wrong with you. But that I'm gonna get out of what I'm in, like my primary belief that I was taught, just because that was the only thing I knew. That doesn't mean that it's right or accurate. And so even though I didn't know this adult very well, that one statement gave me hope and feel seen and worthy, and like things were possible for me at that age, even with what I was dealing with at home. So I would like to persuade my audience that as an adult, and when we encounter children, LGBTQ plus kids, or not just kids, like young adults, teenagers, that we should meet them with acceptance instead of rejection, because rejection, scientifically, research shows that it affects them way more. Rejection causes more for LGBTQ plus people, the rejection from very close family members or guardians. That's almost like a physical wound, the way that feels to someone who is still trying to figure themselves out. And a parent or guardian should respond, in a way like they don't have to fully believe it or even understand it. They just need to like meet their kid with kindness and make them feel like they're not something crazy, like something so just evil and bad, because it turns into internalized homonegativity, which can be defined as just believing that certain parts about yourself, your sexuality or identity, make you just a bad person in general. And that can mess with someone's psyche for the rest of their lives. And unfortunately, that makes the suicide rate and suicidal ideation is much higher in children who are struggling or going through LGBTQ plus issues, because of the lack of acceptance at home, because when they're young, that's all the perspective they get. I wanted to share some statistics. It's 38 children, LGBTQ plus people who have a low acceptance rate from their family. It is like 38.5% is the rating that they would potentially kill themselves, whereas children who identify the same way but have accepting parents, it's only a 15% chance of that, which, because there's a lot of factors that go into it other than family acceptance, but having a supportive adult that makes you feel like a normal person is very, very important. Acceptance, in one of my articles by Howe, he references how we need protective factors against like put into place for children that are on this spectrum to Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's okay. That protective factors include having at least one safe adult in a child's life or young adult's life that feels supportive and not condemning, makes it way less likely that they will deal with certain mental health struggles. There was also a study where, we've measured rejection. A lot of things in psychology have studied rejection and how that affects the brain. But I found a study where they measured acceptance and like physical behaviors of acceptance, such as a parent taking their child to an LGBT event, or them letting them express themselves in their clothing style or hair style, and how that makes them feel normal and okay. And these protective factors where they're accepted, they don't develop negative self-image of themselves. They don't question everything. Dang it, my notes went away. I apologize. So, as I was saying, family acceptance is one of the strongest protective factors. It supports their mental health, better self-esteem, more social support. They feel they're more likely to deal with adversity from other people with peers if their parents are accepting. Or again, this isn't just for parents, it's for anybody, any adult that is, has a niece or nephew or is a teacher or a faith leader or anything of that sort that can make a person, the youth, feel okay. Adults don't need to have all the answers. They just need to meet these children with, love and compassion, talk to them, hear their feelings, and not immediately get angry. How many minutes am I in?
7.5.
Oh, fudge biscuits. Okay, I'm gonna cut this down a little bit. It's okay. Imagine a teenager being alone in their room and crying because they're told that they're an abomination or evil, and they start to keep everything to themselves. But imagine if instead of that, their parent comes in and says, "Hey, I see you, I love you, there's nothing wrong with you, and I want to understand where you're coming from." All kids need is a singular, safe adult. That's unfortunately not always their parents, mostly because of religious upbringings or things that are indoctrinated into the parents. But I would just like to say, to be a safe person for these kids, you don't have to support or understand, just love them and make them feel seen. And even if you're a stranger and don't have a close relationship with them, it can make a difference, because it made a difference for me.